The Jazz Age.
By aljuane and Milan.
Life in the 1920s were great. It was all about celebrating and loving what you do. This was also a time of rebellion.
Women who weren't allowed to show skin began wearing short skirts, dresses, and shorts.
New hairstyles such as the page boy haircut were introduced. Also, new dances such as the Charleston became very popular. The name Charleston derived from the city Charleston in South Carolina.
The women who performed the Charleston were called flappers. This was because of the way they flapped their arms while doing the dance. This dance was, for the most part, performed to the musical style jazz. This had become popular throughout this era.
A famous jazz musician of the time was Louis Armstrong.
Louis sure is smoking tonight.
I can dig it.
Also during this time, alcohol was illegal. This was known as prohibition.
Many Americans did not let this stop their celebration. They took measures into their own hands.
Speakeasies were created. Speakeasies were private bars, sometimes required password upon entry, were dedicated to its people.
They had tons of booze for days, and just when you think they ran out, they pulled more out from the basements. Some even had hidden doors or rooms that hid the booze if a cop or someone of the sort was to intrude.
Some became even more desperate that they turned to bootleggers at the time, who used whatever it took to create the booze. This was sometimes hazardous.
This time sure was fly.
Yeah, it sure was swinging. Well,
Well,
that's all the time we have.
Gotta split.